Hey everyone, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I'm flipping through my bullet journal for all of 2022. This bullet journal is an A5 size Macy Lane Co journal that is personalized to say Creative Minds Coffee Grinds. I really did love this journal a lot. I loved the faux leather especially. I really wanted to get a journal with faux leather, as my last two were the cloth cover. I am not sure if Macy Lane Co is still making journals. If she is, I will try to have this journal linked down below, but I don't think she's been selling this style specifically for a very long time, so I'm just going to have the journal she does have linked down below if you are interested. I really was in love with this purple color. I loved this little house on the bottom. These tabs, I get asked about them all the time. I'm pretty sure they're Passion Planner tabs. They're just these really simple gold sticky tabs that I put on my journal. I got them from Amazon and they were super cheap, so I would highly recommend. But without further ado, let's hop right into my 2022 bullet journal. I am very proud to say that I made through the entire year of 2022 in this journal, with the exception of weeklies and monthlies, which was in my Happy Planner, and I will have that flip through video linked in the cards and down below if you're interested. This journal was really only trackers, and next year for my 2023 journal, I'm going to be doing weeklies again, which I'm very excited to do. If you want to see that setup, that will also be linked in the cards and down below for you to check out as well. So hopping into the first page, I have Tori Lynn right here. I have my Instagram handle, my cute little 2022 gnome down here, which you will see a bigger version in a couple pages. I really love putting the year at a glance on the side like this. I referenced this so much throughout the year, and I also love that it flips out to my grid spacing guide, which I also referenced a lot throughout the entire year. This was probably my most helpful spread in the entire journal. Here is that bigger version of my 2022 gnome. It was the first gnome I drew in 2022, and I would later go on to draw a total of 73 gnomes in the entire year. This is my 2022 goals. My word of the year was confidence. Some personal goals, work goals, health goals, and other. Not too sure if I did great on those goals, but we're just gonna move on. So I have the top 6 gnomes over here. The bottom ones I'm going to have to make by myself. My sister has been super busy. She's usually the one who makes my gnome stickers. So I'm going to try to make the last 6 by myself. So this page is not finished, but I do intend on finishing it later on in 2023. Over here, we have my when did I last, so my physicals, dentist, gynecologist, eyes, hair, brows, dermatologist appointments. I ended up starting to get my nails done in the summer, which I haven't done in a while now. I kind of wanted to give my nails a little bit of a break, but I was keeping track of those appointments as well as car oil miles, which I didn't end up filling in a ton, when my emissions were done, and a place for miscellaneous. My health log is something I reference all the time, and it's very helpful for me to see like where my period starts, like if I'm getting headaches all the time, if I'm getting stomach pain all the time. This is the most amazing tracker for me, and it's the most helpful one that I make. Over here we have books that I've read, my to be read, and I really liked down here that I could color in the books based on what I rated them. It's funny because I have 3 and less than 3 stars, but usually if I'm not liking a book, I don't finish it. So I think for my next journal, I ended up doing 5, 4.5, 4, and 3.5 because, again, I don't really finish a book if I'm not liking it more than 3.5 stars. Over here is movies I've watched, shows I've watched, Instagram followers tracker, YouTube subscribers tracker. And then we are getting into my planning pages. I have January, February, we have March and April, my May and June, we have July and August over here, September, October, November, and December planning pages. This is my vision board. I'm not super in love with this vision board. I kind of just threw it together in all honesty, but I did like that I added in a bucket list over here. I did get to check some of these things off, but I honestly haven't looked at it in a while, so I'm going to have to make sure if I had accomplished anything in 2022 that I wanted to. And now we are hopping into the monthly spreads. For January, I did a coffee theme, which I think was really, really cute and simple. I really ended up loving this anxiety tracker with it all filled in. I was very stressed out in January. My goodness. I'm probably going to have a couple of these things blacked out because they're kind of personal, especially all my 2 lines a day are going to end up being blacked out. I love filling in these memories pages. There's me and my cousin. We went ice skating in January. That was super fun. And you all ended up naming my coffee gnome Brewster, which was also my favorite name that we came up with. Over here is just a quote page and my February break brain dump. And then we are getting into February. February was a Paris theme. I used my acrylograph pens to achieve this, which was awesome. I like using some new pens that I don't usually use. I kind of end up gravitating towards Tombos and Crayolas, but it's nice to switch some things up. You all ended up naming my Paris gnome Pierre, and this was actually from a dance competition that I went to with my old dance buddies. That was so fun. I am obsessed with this page. I love travel spreads in my bullet journal. I print these out on my Instax printer. I use the black boxes to journal a little bit from Mojo Jojo Plans to make planner sticker boxes. And then these 2 stickers right here are from my foam memo printer. I will actually have a code if you want to get one for yourself. You can make your own stickers. That will be down below if you are interested. For March, I did a Lucky Charms theme, and my sister was kind enough to make me these Lucky Charms stickers, and I made a little leprechaun gnome to go along with it. And this theme was actually inspired, especially like the header styles from Julia Royal Journals. I think that's her name. I'll have it on the screen here. But she did this for February 2022, and I was very inspired to do my own version of it. I forgot about my self-care bingos. Those are super fun. You all ended up naming my leprechaun gnome Finnegan, which again was one of my favorite names from the ones that you suggested, so I'm very glad that that one won. For April, I remember I was reading the Cinder series, or the what was it called? Something Chronicles? The Lunar Chronicles, that's what it was called. So I was reading that series when I was making this April space theme. So there's a couple elements that go along with that. I really love how this astronaut gnome turned out. I think he's absolutely adorable. The Rampion Crew, that is a reference to the Lunar Chronicles. I really love that series and I definitely want to reread it. I also love a good simple black and white theme. I always have to do one every so often. This was from my Encanto Day at school. We celebrated Encanto Day because it was such a popular movie that my kids loved. It was just so adorable. And you all ended up naming this gnome Galileo. This was another reference to the Lunar Chronicles, and then I have a little spread dedicated to my April break. I visited my sister at her school. I got Distinguished Scholar Award for the highest GPA in my master's program, which I had no idea that I got. And then I got a haircut and I went back to blonde. I had Easter at my aunt's, and I also had a pretty bad sinus infection, I guess, that I didn't remember. Here was my first gnome challenge from June 2022. When I was spinning the wheel, I was writing down the gnome themes as I was getting them. So I just had documentation of the gnome themes I was doing in my gnome challenge. This was one of my favorite themes through the whole year, and I really think it has to do with the color palette. I love this blue, I love this green, and I think the tulips just came out so amazing. This green paper was from Archer and Olive. I have a code if you ever want to get anything from Archer and Olive. They are seriously such an amazing store. I just really love how this theme turned out. I think it's so pretty. Here's a picture of me and my boyfriend, and then you all named this gnome Blossom. Here is my s'mores theme, and I know that I'm going to black out a lot of this, so just bear with me. I ended up switching up the way I do my layouts. I wanted to add in things I was grateful for and all my trackers into one as like kind of like a daily pages spread, because I just didn't feel like I was filling out my journal as much as I want to. So I'm pretty sure most of this is going to get blacked out, and I apologize. But I really liked switching it up for a little bit to do some daily journaling. This was from a wedding I went to in June, and then you all named this gnome Graham. This was halfway through the year, so I decided to do a couple spreads to kind of break up the journal. I know last year I had a journal from January to June, and then I finished it and went to July through December in another journal, but this one I was trying to do the whole year in one, and I ended up doing that, which is amazing. It looks like I also got a lot in my summer bingo, which is very, very cool. I always had 2 separate boxes for goals that I've accomplished so far for the first half of the year, and things I still wanted to do for the second half of the year. I also have 2 master to-do lists, one to do for bujo and one to do for school for the second half of the year. And then we are moving on to July. I loved how this theme turned out. I used a lot of acrylographs from Archer and Olive. I also used some paper and some washi tape from Archer and Olive as well. I just really wanted to do some kind of like blueberry pancakes style theme, and I think it came out so good. This was also my first Dutch door in a very, very long time, and you'll see that as soon as I started doing Dutch doors, I did not go back. This was such a fun trip. I went to Maine with my family and we took this picture, and you all named this gnome Jack, kind of like flapjacks. This was a Newport trip I took for the 4th of July with some friends. It was super fun. And then here is my Ocean Park, Maine trip. We visited Portland, Ocean Park, Old Orchard Beach. This was one of my favorite vacations I've had in a while. And now we are moving on to my Honeydukes theme for August. I really like how vibrant these colors are, and I'm really happy I got to stick to the color palette. This is one of my favorite pages I've made in my entire journal because I love the butterbeer over here and the Dutch door with the drips in the center. And then I kind of ruin it by turning my 2 lines a day into a content planner, but I still think I like it. This was a picture from my first day of school, and also you named this gnome Trevor, just like Neville's toad in Harry Potter. Unfortunately, this year we had to say goodbye to my 16-year-old dog, and I got this sticker to add into my journal and a picture for her. And then on this side I have a page dedicated to my Maine cabin trip. For September, my boyfriend had asked me to do a football theme because he gets to choose my themes for September as it is his birthday month, so he chose football this time, and I really like how this theme turned out. I'm not sure if it's my favorite of the year, but it is definitely close to it, if not my #1 theme of 2022. I just really like how this turned out. You all ended up naming this gnome Brady right here, like Tom Brady. This was a Cape Cod trip that we went on to celebrate my boyfriend turning 25. It was super fun. And for October, I really wanted to do a Halloween-ish theme. It's been every single October since I started bullet journaling. I've dedicated this month to themed based on a book that I love or a book series that I love, and it's only in black and white. But this month I completely switched it up because I wanted to do something very bright and Halloween-y. And September, I should have mentioned, is when I first did these washi tabs, but the washi tabs are going to keep appearing throughout the rest of this year because I still love them. This was Storybook Character Day at school. I was Junie B. Jones, and my EA was Pete the Cat. That was a super fun day. And you all named this gnome Winnie after the Hocus Pocus movie came out. These are just some extra master to-do lists. This was what I was supposed to be doing for November, And over here was my bujo master to-do list, which my videos ended up changing a little bit, so I'm not even referencing this anymore. For November, I really wanted to do a New Girl theme because it is my favorite show of all time. Over here, I have this little jest gnome, and I really, really like how this turned out as well, the douchebag jar. I will have the Plan With Me playlist of all my monthly Plan With Me's linked down below if you are interested, because I actually got to post every single Plan With Me that I wanted to this year. It looks like I forgot to put a Polaroid. I'm gonna have to go back in my November photos and print a Polaroid to put in here. And then you all named this gnome Jess for obvious reasons. This is my newest bullet journal setup, which I will have linked in the cards and down below if you want to check it out. It is my Swedish Christmassy style. I'm not entirely sure what to call this theme, but I really, really like the color palette of this one as well. As of right now, we have not named the gnome yet. And then we have my Christmas spreads, which was another video that I recently put out. I really love how these look. This was supposed to be in my Christmas journal spreads. They were supposed to be recipe spreads, but I didn't really feel like doing it. So now they are just blank. This is a place for my 2022 memories to just write down my favorite memories of this year. We have me planning my new bullet journal of 2023 over here, all the spreads. And then this is for me to plan my reading journal for 2023. And then other than that, I just have a couple pages left. And that is this bullet journal officially flipped through. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Also, don't forget to check out my bullet journal Instagram at Creative Minds Coffee Grinds, and also my bullet journal TikTok, which is at Creative Mind Coffee Grinds without the S. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.